Hello there. It's a couple of days after Christmas, and I just want to get back to the subject I talked about in my last, and actually first podcast, I should say. A couple of days ago, I put up a podcast about how people were getting upset about Christmas songs, mainly Baby It's Cold Outside. Now, the story behind Baby It's Cold Outside is that Frank Loesser, who I think his name is Lesser, Loesser, he was a Broadway songwriter. He was married to a woman named Lynn Garland. She was apparently a singer. And Loesser wrote the song Baby It's Cold Outside in 1944. He did it for their New York City housewarming party. He and his wife meant it to be a hint for all their guests to leave at the end of the night. Well, the song became an instant hit, and they were invited to the best parties for years, according to Lynn Garland, all based on that song. They were asked to perform it whenever they went to any party in New York City. Now, Loesser, whatever, he wrote some songs for lyrics and music for some musicals like Guys and Dolls, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, which, by the way, happens to be the only musical that I like. It's the only musical I've ever seen that I still like to this day. I normally hate musicals. I remember one afternoon on a Sunday before cable came around years ago, I was looking around on a Sunday afternoon to try and find something, and I see something with this gorgeous woman all decked out, and it looked like Roman times or something. And there's a guy who's obviously a general or something. He's in his leather armor, and he's got a cape and all that, a beard. And they're talking for a moment, so I said, oh, okay, this finally looks interesting. And all of a sudden, he breaks out into a song, into music. Well, that ruined the entire film for me. There was nothing to see that day. But, as is my wont, I am digressing again. Anyway, what's-his-face, Loesser sold the song to MGM in 1948. His wife, Garland, was not happy. She said, I felt as betrayed as if I'd caught him in bed with another woman. She was upset because she always considered it their song, her husband's and her song. It had always been their song, and now after 4 years, he sold it, and it was in the public domain. Well, not exactly the public domain. I mean, it belonged to somebody else other than them all of a sudden. Now, in 1949, the song won the Academy Award for Best Original Song after it was featured in the film Neptune's Daughter that year. Now, an interesting thing here, especially for those who claim it's a song about rape. It's performed by two couples in that film, okay? One couple, the man is asking the woman to stay, and the other, the roles are reversed. In other words, the woman is singing it to the man, trying to get him to stay. So, yeah, it's a song about seduction, but it's a song about one seducing the other. Doesn't matter if it's the man seducing the woman or the woman seducing the man. But beyond that, it's just a nice song. It's got a great melody. It's easy to hear. I don't see why people would get upset because it's about, seduction. Come on, it's not a rape song. The guy's not trying to hold her there, lock the doors, whatever, as I said in my other podcast. I'm not going to go over that again. But again, obviously, she's not trying to be a Black Widow spider and trap him there, She's not some praying mantis trying to get the guy into bed so she can kill him. Figuratively speaking, of course. Anyway, according to an article I found online from the Daily Caller, the song enjoyed breakout status in 1949 and was recorded by at least 8 different sets of artists, including Margaret Whiting and Johnny Mercer, Homer and Jethro and June Carter, and of course Frank Loesser and Garland. Now, it makes no mention of Christmas or the holidays, yet because it's about snow and cold, it became an instant Christmas classic. Well, I don't know about instant, but it became a Christmas classic. People like Sammy Davis Jr. and Carmen McRae recorded it also in 1957. Davis's fellow Rat Pack member Dean Martin recorded it in 1959. That is probably the most famous version of it. That's the one I first saw Dean Martin performing. I believe it was from his TV show, because they did it like a skit, only musically. And again, that's probably one of the very few musical skits that I like. I prefer people talking to each other, but in some cases, when you're doing music videos, then of course you have to have music. So this fits right into that. I'm sorry if I seem like I'm rambling today or something. It's been a long day. It's 9 o'clock at night, and I'm a little tired. So maybe I shouldn't have even done this today, but hey, now it's done. That's all there is to it. Other people who've done it since Dean Martin are a duet by Amy Grant and Vince Gill. They did it in 2016. Then in 2017, Fantasia and CeeLo Green did a version also. Now, apparently some radio stations banned the song. In 2018, though, Cleveland's WDOK announced its decision on its website. Some douchebag named Glenn Anderson from WDOK wrote on November 27th that the world we live in is extra sensitive now, and people get easily offended. But in a world where Me Too has finally given women the voice they deserve, this song has no place. You're full of shit, Anderson. And meanwhile, defenders of the song have come up with different ways to show their support. There was a Kentucky radio station played a 2-hour Baby It's Cold Outside marathon on Sunday, which I spoke about the other day. It alternated between 5 different versions of the tune. I thought it was more, but it was 5 different versions. But you know what? I would have listened anyway. And of course, we all know that Dean Martin's daughter, Deanna, defended the song on Fox and Friends on December 10th. As she said, you know, it's a sweet, flirty, fun holiday song that, well, it's been around for 50 years. And the song is still popular among both men and women. Now, I saw a poll here, a user poll conducted by the messaging app MEI, whatever that is. They asked 4,000 app users in the U.S. over the weekend of December 15th, and they broke down the results by age, gender, and even political party. And an MEI spokesperson told the Daily Caller News Foundation that it turns out Baby It's Cold Outside is the second most popular Christmas song among both Republicans and Democrats, with 16% of Republicans ranking it as their favorite and 15% of Democrats. The only song that surpassed Baby It's Cold Outside in popularity, according to this poll, was Silent Night. Another great song, which I'm sure there are people on the left who'd love to ban that because it is obviously a religious song. It's about Christ being born. And, you know, I don't even want to get into about whether or not Christ was born on Christmas Day, which obviously he was not. But that day is when we celebrate his birth, no matter when it was. Well, I agree with Deanna Martin, who told people who were offended by the song, get over it. Anyway, I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and I wish you all a Happy New Year. Even you people who were miserable that Donald Trump is president, I wish you a happier New Year. You know, get over it. You know, you lost and that's it. It's been 2 years, for crying out loud. How long are you going to cry about it? Goodbye.